Hi, folks. Yes, you've been clickbaited by the thumbnail there, but you're here now, so let's get on with it. Fuck the Queen! Is that me being edgy? Am I edgy? Am I cool? Do I look cool? Do I? Do I? Thing is, I am allowed to say that on YouTube and on all the alternative video sites on which I'm saying it. Please do go to those instead. Links in description as always. But more importantly, I'll be posting this video on the likes of Twitter, where I am perhaps not quite as allowed to say it. And I'm certainly not allowed to say it in broadcast media. That's why I'm saying it. It's the only reason I'm saying it. Truth be told, I don't really give a shit about the Queen, and I didn't really give a shit when she died. I'm neutral on the matter. She might have been pretty based. She might have been what we call woke. We don't know. She never made it her business. In her 70 years reign, she never revealed enough of her political leanings for that to ever become apparent, and I appreciate that. I appreciate that she never expressed ideas above her station, despite having the highest station in the nation. Apart from anything else, she never censored me. As far as I know, she never insisted on censoring any side of any debate, or vetoing any action in the legislative branches of any of the Commonwealth states in which she had the power to do so, which makes it all the more disappointing that censorship is now being enforced posthumously on her behalf. I don't think that's what she would have wanted. Not that that's the point. The point is, it's not what I want. So the neutrality I just expressed, and the appreciation of her own neutrality, is as far as I'm prepared to go in singing her praises. Maybe I want to say nice things about her, but I refuse to, under the circumstances. It's something of an ironic knothole in history as it repeats. In the 70s, it was considered edgy for punk bands to say, "Fuck the Queen!" But at least they were allowed to say it, in their music, no less. On Top of the Pops, words to that effect anyway. And as it became more acceptable and more common to voice such sentiments, it became less and less edgy, and by the time the turn of the 21st century rolled around, it was so basic bitch that it was just cringe. Like, ooh, edgy boy doesn't like the Queen, you so out there, you so OTT. Yeah, nobody cared. You didn't have to like the Queen, you weren't compelled to. You were absolutely compelled to like Princess Diana for some fucking reason, but whatever. It's 24 years ago, it was genuinely edgy to say fuck Diana. Or even, I don't think Diana was all she's cracked up to be. Because no one in the media would listen to you. But at least you didn't get arrested. Stating an opinion that could get you arrested, it's not just edgy, it's the state considers it an edged weapon that they will confiscate and prosecute you for possessing. At that point, as far as I'm concerned, it is my duty as a free speech advocate to wield that weapon, at least in self-defense, whithersoever I am allowed to, and maybe even when I'm not. You don't have to say things you don't believe just for the sake of it. That's not what I'm saying, and it's not what I believe. But I like to exercise my freedom of speech wherever I find it apposite. And what I'm mainly espousing in this video, because I don't hear many people espousing it, is that one way of exercising your free speech is to practice self-censorship of compelled speech, or compelled opinions, even if they're only compelled by omission. What has sometimes made me quietly fall out with people who I would otherwise respect is when they go to a platform and express the only opinion on a given subject that anyone is allowed to express on that platform. When you express a side of an argument in the full knowledge that no one is allowed to present the other side. If you've gone to any mass media outlet or any major social media network and said, the COVID vaccines work, or there's no evidence of election interference, you're a dick. If you were cheering on for the lockdowns when people weren't even allowed to protest against them, you're a dick. If at the same time you were cheering on Black Lives Matter as they flaunted the lockdown rules and rioted across the world with impunity, you're a dick. Because those are dick moves and you know it. You're not having a fair fight and you know it. You're beating someone who's already in chains and you know it. Even if you thought you were factually right, you were still in the wrong, ethically. This idea of punching down is usually a rather fluid, subjective concept, but when you're clearly in an arena in which the result is a foregone conclusion, if you're an emperor who's just shooting lions from a safe vantage point, you're a dick. And on top of that, if you have the nerve to take the piss out of the lions while you do it, words can barely describe what a dick you are. Hey, I'm not a moron. I know the vaccines work. I'm not some slack-jawed, knuckle-dragging waterhead cunt. I'm not one of those irredeemably wrong-headed subhumans who think the vaccines don't work. I'm a good person. Even if you were in the right about all of that, you're still a dick for beating down on the people who tried to offer a second opinion with their hands tied behind their backs. Well, imagine, just imagine, the highly unlikely event that you were in fact wrong about that. Imagine what a colossal, throbbing, Brazilian wandering spider priapism of a dick you must feel like. It's okay to be wrong. People are wrong all the time. It's when you're not just wrong, but you're being an insufferable dick to everyone who's right. Then you can fully expect people to walk away and never give you the time of day again. And you deserve it. You don't even have the excuse of I was just following the orders. You did it all voluntarily. Not that you'll ever admit you were wrong. As they say, or as Mark Twain said, it's easier to fool people than it is to convince them they've been fooled. The bigger the mistake you've made, the more difficult it is for you to admit to it. Beyond a certain threshold, it is impossible. It's easier to deliberately lie to yourself forever than it is to admit you were tricked into joining a eugenics program and that you tried to get everyone else to join it by being an insufferable dick. Of course, you're allowed to be a dick, depending on to whom you are being a dick. That's the point. The police won't arrest you for desecrating an England flag, but they will arrest you for mocking a rainbow flag. Given such a state of affairs, if you fly the rainbow flag, you're a dick. We should be allowed to mock any flag at any time. No symbol should ever be held as infallible. That's why there's no flag for science, by the way. Science is not infallible, and you're not supposed to treat it like it is. If, during the Queen's funeral, it turns out to be illegal in practice to mock the Union Jack, the Union flag, I mean, you might say now's not the time to be mocking the Union flag, but I would put it to you that now is not the time to be flying the Union flag, if it cannot be criticised. Because flying a flag that cannot be criticised is a dick move. Kind of a fascist move, actually, and I don't use that word lightly. But do take care to notice that a couple of weeks from now we'll go right back to being allowed to desecrate the Union flag, but it will still be verboten to desecrate the rainbow flag. The police have it painted across their vehicles, after all. They've never had the Union flag painted across their vehicles, not even today, on the day of Her Majesty's funeral. If you really want to know who rules over you, etc. By all means, love the monarchy. By all means, express your bias in favour of the monarchy. But if you're doing it on a platform where it is forbidden to express any contrary bias, you're a dick. Your love means nothing if it cannot be contrasted with the freedom not to love. Compulsory love is a nonsensical and somewhat sinister concept. Light is meaningless without darkness, and vice versa. I'm not just doing knee-jerk big brain centrism for its own sake. This isn't just a grey area shoehorned in to an important debate for its own sake. It's a yin-yang thing. It's darkness for the sake of light. The meaning of darkness is what brings meaning to the light you hold so dear. The meaning of light is that you choose it, that you can choose it. So I'm not going to sincerely criticize the institution of the monarchy, because I don't really have a problem with it as an institution. But I do have a problem with censorship as a tool of institutions. So I'm not going to defend the monarchy either. Not as long as we are forbidden to criticize it. There's no need to defend something that cannot be attacked. Moreover, it would be a dick move. Yes, I am aware that many of the people making these criticisms against the monarchy and experiencing censorship as a result, many of them are massive rank hypocrites who would readily cheer for censorship whenever it suits the machinations of their own agenda, such as the things I've mentioned in this video. Needless to say, fuck them. Fuck them more than anyone. Heartfelt. And yes, to some degree I do share in any schadenfreude you might be experiencing from the cosmic karma being inflicted there, but you're still not going to get through to these hypocrites by pointing out their hypocrisy. Even the concrete consequences of their hypocrisy is not going to make them see the error of their ways. They are broken and they cannot be fixed. Like I said, they've already made a mistake so heinous that they can never admit to it. They're going to keep lying forever. They're going to keep stabbing you with their spear and then crying when they get prodded by the other end of it. They're never going to change. And you shouldn't change to become more like them. That's not how you win. That's not how you rise up. On the contrary, that's how the zombie bites you. So in the meantime, I'm doing my thing. And my thing, for better or worse, is a principled approach to free speech. If I can't say what I'm not allowed to say, I will at least not say what I am allowed to say. I extend that principle to the speech of which and of whom I do not approve. That is how free speech actually works. Someone has to lead by example and at least try not to be an indefensibly hypocritical zombie. When there's nobody left holding to the principle of consistency, we will find ourselves plunged into the pure chaos of tribal warfare. Even further into it, I should say. And I'm not morally relativizing here either. I'm not saying that cheerleading for the monarchy is just as bad as cheerleading for eugenics programs and stolen elections, but the principle remains the same. Wheresoever anything is censored, I will, as a form of protest, practice self-censorship against the pervading, protected viewpoint, even if I agree with it. You certainly don't have to follow my lead, and I won't tell you to. But if it's about paying respects to the fallen, then there's no need to kick people when they're already being arrested, even if they probably do think they're better than you. The solution to such a mindset is not the equal and opposite mindset. Just hold the line, stand your ground, and don't tread on me. Fuck Charles, though. For real, he's a commie, you know that, right?